All right, guys, we've waited so long for it, and it's finally here. Not as long as Rivendell, but we got Barad-Dur here Tuesday, May 14th, 2024. Barad-Dur is revealed. $460 coming on June 1st, and then June 4th is kind of their way of saying sign up and become a VIP member or Lego Insider. But it comes out on June 1st. Here's the set. First impression, better box art than what we've been getting with the rest of the 18 plus sets. Nice to see something that, while it's not totally unique, it's still better than just the plain black art, the plain black box art. At least we've got some lighting here, a few touches, and the overall, it's a much better look than the rest of the black box art. The set itself looks pretty similar to the leak. No surprises really on the look of it. Honestly, what overall impressions, it looks pretty good. I'm not gonna say it looks amazing, but it looks pretty good to me. I think Orthink looks a little bit better. I think Rivendell to me appeals more to me and looks a little bit more like a timeless classic. This is still a very good looking set, but it's not quite at the level of some of the other Lord of the Rings sets we've gotten. Um, Here we got an overall impression. Here's the back of it. This is kind of fun. So we've got, the dollhouse style. It looks like Vader's castle from the back, with some of this dark tan and dark bluish gray and incorporated with the black. But we've got a couple rooms. Interesting style. We'll go ahead and we'll just swap right to the minifigs because that's mainly what I'm interested in. As someone who is really into the theme, that's what stands out to me the most, and I think probably most of you too. Starting off, let's talk about Sauron. So Sauron is the one guy everyone is kind of anticipating, and to me, I'll be honest, he doesn't really look that good. He looks a little bit like a knockoff. Don't get me wrong, it looks accurate to what Sauron looks like, but it doesn't look like a Lego-fied version of Sauron. It doesn't look like it's a Lego minifigure, it looks like it's an action figure. So for me, it kind of misses the mark and just reminds me more of like the AliExpress knockoffs than an actual Lego Sauron minifig. Maybe if I give it some more time, that'll change. My impression will be a little bit better, but for now, it just doesn't look that good. The torso and the legs are fine. That really doesn't matter, but the helmet mold itself and the shoulder pads, it just doesn't look great to me. Um, Next we'll go to Mouth of Sauron. Mouth of Sauron, I mean, he looks pretty much identical to the last one, other than his head being a little more green and the teeth, so a little more nasty looking, and maybe the helmet mold, is slightly different. Looks a little more gray, at least in this photo, than the one that came in the other figure. But like I said, I've got like 5 Mouth of Saurons at this point, so I don't really care too much what this guy looks like. Frodo and Sam, to me, they look identical as Rivendell. A little disappointing. I did expect them to include extra armor like they did, and we'll get to that in this set, but or at least helmets. But I thought they would also give a little bit of a tattered look. I wasn't expecting Mordor disguises, but I was expecting like that tattered, we're walking around Mordor type of feel, kind of like a Mustafar figure for Anakin. But this is, to me, a little disappointing. They didn't actually give us proper variants to Mordor. Gollum, everyone's hating on Gollum, and to me, he doesn't look better than the old one, but he doesn't look bad. Um, Lego recently has been making all of their figs look super cartoony in like Star Wars, and we saw that in the Rivendell set, cartoony faces, and that's why I think a lot of the Rivendell figures are not as good as the 2012 to 2014 figures. And this one is kind of down the same path. It's kind of a weird mixture where the eyes have no pupils. They're just plain, solid color. Of course, here it's a little bit of a two-tone thing going on, but there's no pupils, and it looks like that Ninjago or Monkey Kid figure type of design. Not a huge fan. The mold itself, it's tough to tell how it compares to the old one, but it's pretty much the same. It's really just the face print that looks a lot different. The rest, other than the eyes on Gollum, though, he reminds me a lot of this figure in terms of having a lot of lines in the face, a lot of creases in these orc and Gollum faces. But let's talk about these two green orcs. So I think these guys are kind of representing the figures we see in Lord of the Rings. This guy is the guy in Cirith Ungol, and he tells Frodo, "I'm going to stick you like a pig." I think that's kind of the variant or race of, Peter Jackson orcs that this is trying to portray. There's two of them. One, we've got the one on the left of Mouth of Sauron looks a little bit like a Fright Night type of torso, and then the legs could be, anything. And then the one on the right looks a little more tattered. Uh, to me, not quite as cool looking as the one on the left, but it's still a solid figure. The face print looks okay. Comparing to the 2012 figure, like the Moria Orc that is green, it looks okay. I'm a fan of it overall, just because I already have all of the orcs from the past, so it's not a big deal to me that this looks different. The hairpiece is from Harry Potter. That's like a goblin figure, and it looks okay here in the olive green. I think that's what color this is, or maybe it's actually a different color. I'm not totally sure. I think it is olive green, but my Lego names might be messed up with how many weird ways Lego calls their colors these days. So he's a solid fig. I like him. These are my favorite figures in the set. Is this guy with the helmet? He's like an Uruk-hai, I believe. At least he should be. And then the Goth Mog. Way, way, way cool. Very, very happy with the Goth Mog. He's 10 out of 10 in my opinion. I love the breastplate on him. And then the Uruk-hai is also very good looking. And he looks a lot to me. These two figures look more to me like they would have come into the 2012 wave. They look very Lego at its peak. Big, big fans of these. Love the new helmet on that Uruk-hai. Like I said before, we all know that none of the molds for the helmets had stayed around, so that's why they had to do, no 2012 Uruk-hai Army helmet mold, or no orc hairpiece mold. We got the Harry Potter version. Those are all kind of dead molds. Even Sting is a dead mold, so the only thing we still have here are the sword molds that are current. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how much some of these figs fetch on the open market. Gollum even could be a sleeper, expensive. I don't think so, but I assume some of these orcs are probably going to be the most desirable, followed by Sauron. Just people wanting to army build orcs like myself. I'm a huge, huge fan of them. So that's what people try to do, and I'll be included in that. So yeah, overall, this set, it's not as good as Rivendell. It's not as good as Orthanc. But it's still cool, and it's still really exciting to get some new orcs. For me, the build, I do like the build overall. But, this set could have been 10 out of 10 better if, some of those improvements were made, like I mentioned before. And also if it included some sort of troll. Like, I feel like this set needed an X factor to take it up a level. And an Olo guy pushing some siege equipment, that would have been crazy, crazy special. Or an armored troll from one of these battle scenes, like the one we see that fights Aragorn at the Black Gate. Like, tell me this would not have made this set way, way cooler to have if you get some of these cool figures to build, and then boom, you get a huge armored cave troll or one of these Olo guys. Like, that would have been so much better. But I'm still happy with the set. Obviously, I'm going to be there June 1st at the Lego store picking it up. And part of that reason is the Fell Beast is included as a gift with purchase. It comes. I don't know how much. They don't have a price for it currently. It comes with 269 pieces. So, what does Lego value this at? I'm not sure, but I'm guessing this was originally supposed to be part of the set, or at least it was developed with the Barad-Dur set, and then they realized, hey, we don't want it to be $500 like Rivendell was. We want it to be a little cheaper because it doesn't have all the fellowship, so not as many people will be into it. We got to make it a little cheaper, and we'll do that by making the Fell Beast a gift with purchase, so we can drop down the price of Barad-Dur to 460. So I think that's what happened here. And we have this Fell Beast, again, similar box art to the Barad-Dur, which is, it's solid, it's okay. But the overall dragon, or, it's not a dragon, but the Fell Beast, it looks okay to me. I think if you look at the body and the tail from this angle, it looks really good. But then you see the ring wraith, and he seems kind of awkwardly positioned on there. Doesn't really seem like he's totally on top of it, right? Like he's not comfortable, like natural looking part of the build. So to me, that looks really awkward. It's cool how they have a tongue for it, but the head, I'm not sure I love the head. It looks a little strange to me. And then especially from this angle, it looks very piecemeal together, like it's random bits and pieces and like one cohesive Fell Beast like mold would be. Like if we look at the Smog Dragon, obviously that's one mold. Here, this is where the fact it's a build rather than a mold, it really suffers for me. The wings are unique, so I'm sure people will be somewhat interested in that. They're kind of like the Ninjago style wings, so for me they look okay. I'm not a huge fan. This is the best angle in my view of this set. That's the way it looks best proportioned, best displayed. But I think a lot of people um, would have been more into it had this set come with some sort of other unique figure than just a Ring Wraith Nazgul. If it came with something else, for me, I didn't expect them to, throw in like an Aemir or a Théoden or Éowyn or any Mary, anything like that. I'm actually I think this just shows that Lego, one, had this originally as part of the set. They wanted to make it cheaper, and two, they knew they had to give us something better than a freaking brickhead like last time around when we bought Rivendell Day One. So overall, I'm pretty happy with the Barad-Dur set, but I'm not like overjoyed with it. I think Rivendell is a better set, or think is a better set. So what do you guys think in the comments? I'll be very interested to see how much some of these figures are going for and how much they fetch for the secondary market. Mainly because I want to build up those orcs. I'm sure most of you guys do too. But we'll have to wait and see, are these figures going to be coming out in another set? Are they going to be coming out of the factories illegally or, under the table like crazy? I don't want to spend too much money if that's going to be the case. So very happy to see the pictures finally. The set is pretty solid. Thank you guys for watching and have a good one.